Hello, family. How is everyone doing? I'm Coach Amber Nicole. If you don't know who I am just dropping my child off at the airport. And as I was sitting there, there was things that the Holy Spirit was dropping on my spirit. And I was like, okay, when I get in the car, I'm gonna share what it is that I want to talk about. So, as you can see, the title of this talks about you believe you're healed, but you're really not. And I really want to talk today, just briefly. This ain't about to be a long session. I want to talk today about you and your healing. If you believe you are truly healed, I just have a couple questions I want to ask you to show you that you are not. Number one, first off, healing is a journey. It's not something you just get to. It's something that you have to be intentional at. It's something that you have to be intentional of going over, unpacking, expressing, acknowledging. Number one, it starts with acknowledging that I'm still hurting from this, acknowledging that this thing still bothers me. So number one, it starts with acknowledging. Number two, it starts with obviously being aware. This is not in any particular order, by the way. This is just me saying the things that you need to do. You have to be aware that these things impacted you. A lot of times, let me just give you an example. A lot of times we think that even though my mama was a drug addict when I was little, that really doesn't affect me anymore because she ain't doing drugs anymore, and I'm better now. We're not in that situation anymore. However, did you unpack how that affected you as a child? Did you unpack what it changed in your mindset and shifted about what you think about people, how you trust people, how you show up? If you've never experienced, if you've never went through the work that you need to do to unpack why you dealt with what you're dealing with, then you've never got to that place of actually saying, this really still impacts me. You think it don't impact you no more because you ain't dealing with it no more. You think because whatever happened, whatever trauma you dealt with as a child, it could be something little. It could be being bullied. I was bullied as a kid. I didn't have barely no friends when I was a child. I know now why I was, but as a kid, I just thought that people just didn't like me because I was stupid, slow, or whatever the case may be, and that just wasn't the case. So when I got older, I became like this people pleaser because I felt like I had to go above and beyond to make people like me, because when I was little, I was bullied and people didn't like me, and I tried to make them like me and didn't. So when I got older, being the people pleaser was me saying, I want you to like me. Can you like me? Can you like me? Instead of just living in my authentic truth and saying, if you don't like me, it is what it is. Everybody isn't meant to like me. Everybody isn't meant to be a part of my life. I'm not meant to be friends with everybody. There's a certain amount of people that's going to be connected to the authenticity of who I am, me being the fullness of who I am, not me trying to please people and be who I think they want me to be, or trying to be fake, or trying to be like them, or trying to follow the trends or any of those things. Just being me. Weird, quirky, goofy, don't fit in the box, Amber Nicole. That's who I am, and the people who love me will gravitate towards that, and the people who don't won't. Period. Right? But I had to get to the space of learning that. I didn't just know that. I had to get to the space of saying, why am I a people pleaser? Why do I want people to want to love me? I'm trying to make people love me instead of just being okay with just being my authentic true self. So really, again, what I'm trying to get to the fact, my point is here is that you really believe that things don't impact you, but asking yourself these three questions. Number one, am I living in my most authentic true self? Meaning uninfluenced by culture, uninfluenced by who my parents think I should be, uninfluenced by anything besides me being in the fullness of who I want to be, the most joyful me. Number two, when I make decisions, whether it be the relationship you're in, the job you're in, the career, the business you have, am I doing this career out of the joy of wanting to do it? Does it match and align with the passions that I want to have? Is it something I really love doing, or am I just doing it because I have to make a paycheck, because the bills have to get paid? Or am I just doing it because it seems like the best thing that I'm capable of doing or getting in the environment that I'm in? If you think that, then I would say that you probably aren't healed, and you probably have some things that's going on in your mind that don't match the true authentic person of who you are. And when you become healed, you see that I deserve better. I deserve more than $17 an hour for a job. Why am I trading an hour of time for $17 an hour as if my time isn't valuable? What the hell, right? But it takes you healing. And the third question you want to ask yourself is, how am I showing up in the world? Am I showing up happy, joyful, at peace, in the most fullest version of who I am? Or am I showing up angry, frustrated, mad, waking up every day not wanting to be bothered, saying how much people get on my nerves? Am I showing up in the fullness of who I am? So ask yourself those three questions. Am I showing up in the fullness of who I am? Am I doing what I need to do, living out the fullness of who I am, meaning in my job, in my careers? And number one, I can't even remember the question, but number one, basically me saying, how am I showing up for me? Right? So ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself, when you get down to the nitty gritty, I'm going to say majority of the time, because people don't do the work, you probably aren't healed. Number one, it's a journey. I'm not fully healed. There's still things that I struggle in. But I'm still on this journey. I'm still intentional about getting therapy, getting coaching. I'm talking to friends, getting spiritual guidance and counseling to unpack the things that I'm struggling with. And I'm still very intentional about making sure I show up in the world and be the most authentic person I can possibly be, right? So if you are struggling, if you find yourself being able to answer, no, I'm really not working a job or career that I like, and why am I not doing that? Or you find yourself saying, I do show up angry and frustrated and mad. Or if you find yourself saying, man, I didn't realize that the experience that I dealt with as a child with my mom, I really didn't heal from that. I really do want to unpack that so that I can heal once and for all, be done, and live in my most authentic truth, not what the culture says I should be, but who I truly am. Not what my experience made me, but who I truly am. When you get to that space, that's when you are able to be the fullest. That's when you're able to have the most joy in your life. So if you find yourself in the spaces on the opposite side of not really living out the fullness of who you are, click the link right here in my bio. I have open sessions for VIP counseling right now. VIP coaching, right now. Click the link in the bio. I'm ready to be your best friend. However, your best friend that holds you accountable. I'm not about to just sit there and let you do anything. You might not like me part of the time, but I promise you'll learn to love me, because you'll be able to get to the space that you really want to get to. That's joy. That's finding the career or the hobby. Or the entrepreneur job that you really want to do, the business that you really want to open up that you're too scared to because you don't think you're capable of it, or because you think you don't have the support to do it. I'm ready to be there for you, to help you, to guide you, to get you to that space. Click the link, book a discovery call with me. Let's get on the call and let's do this. All right. Love you. Bye.